How people. That's beautiful, huh? That's the spirit of the young Namibia, huh? Thank you very much. Have you ever considered to going to America Got Talent or Britain Got Talent or Namibia Got Talent or something like that? You must think about it, huh? Thank you very much. Just an announcement quickly. Those of you that want to know where the bathrooms are, if you want to bath, you go out through that door, you turn right, you continue around the corner with the corridor, and on the left-hand side, you will find the bathrooms. Feel free to use it. Okay, I think we are on good time as far as our program is concerned. The next component of our program is where a number of individuals will have special messages to the convention and to Dr. Itula. First of all is Mr. Patriot Andrew Shimesha here. Oh, okay. Thank you. Thank you. Patriot Andrew Shimesha. Is that the Patriot coming? I think by Sunday we will all know each other. But you know, these masks, these masks are very interesting things, you know. I will walk into people that I know and I will never know it's them. Huh? Jackie, I don't know whether I should tell this one. You think so? You know, it's the year 2025, huh? 5 years from now. Please come, have a seat. The year 2025. And there's a 5-year-old little girl asking the mother, Mama, Meme, Mama, who's really my father? She said, really, I don't know. You know, he had a mask on. So, yeah. On this very bad note, let me introduce to you Patriot Andrew Shimesha. Is that right? And you have a very special message to deliver. Shall we get music or something until Dr. Itula is back? Please, I think you would like him to hear this, huh? Or are you
I believe the message is dedicated to all patriots, including Dr. Itula. Yeah, we can just be patient a bit while Doctor is getting back. We have learned that they have just escorted the bishop outside. Then we will deliver our compatriots' message of solidarity. I think we need music while Doctor is coming back. Patriots, are we there? Patriots, patriots. Huh? Thank you very much, Patriots. Actually, we are, before I start reading these solidarity messages, we should continue to take note that we live in a multi-democratic society whereby we have our partners in the struggle to save Namibia. Actually, before I was invited here, I expected to have a big file of solidarity messages from different political players since we are a new baby here. But what I've received here is actually two messages from individuals and two two messages from political parties in Namibia, and I'm going to read these messages as they have been forwarded to us. The first solidarity message is coming from Ursula Henkelt of Okahanja. It reads as follows. Says at 83 years of age, she is too old to join the festivities of a national convention, but she supports the phenomena for change wholeheartedly, and she quotes a short statement in German language as it reads: Die Zeit es fell einen Wechsels, which says the time is not only right, it's not only right for change, but for the right change. The time is not only right for change, but for the right change, she says. I end that solidarity message. Then I go to the second message. The second message is coming from Diva Angula. It's titled Solidarity Message at the Foundation Convention of the Independent Patriots for Change. It reads: Director of Proceedings, Delegates and Patriots, good morning. Thank you, Patriot Itula, for your kind words of introduction. I am honored to be here and deliver a message of solidarity to this founding convention of Independent Patriot for Change, shortened IPC party. I, on behalf of thousands of other patriots-minded Namibians who did not get privilege afforded me to address this watershed event, wish to express warmest greetings of solidarity to the delegates assembled to start a process of party organizations with the view to chart the way of ending the suffering of poor Namibians. The evil of poverty, diseases, ignorance, organized top-level crime, and injustices are the enemies against which your forces should be honorably marshaled. Director of Proceedings, Delegates and Patriots, as the preliminaries in organizing the convention have been disposed of, you will get down to the real work before this assemblage. You are here to perform a task so great that it appeals to your best thoughts, your united energies, and will enlist your most loyal support, a task in the presence of which weak men and women might falter and despair, but from which is impossible to shrink without betraying the mantra, Namibia is all we have. I am equally much impressed by this huge patriotic gathering, albeit amid the threatening peril of the COVID-19 pandemic. I also realize that I stand in the presence of those who in the past have fought are fighting and will continue to fight the battles of achieving a better life for the current and the future generation of the land of the brave. Director of Proceedings, delegates, and patriots. We Namibians are not to struggle as our inner history defined by struggle, gaining freedom and the rights which were denied to our people for over a century by successive colonial regimes. With the advent of political self-rule, the fight for economic empowerment of those previously disadvantaged by colonialism has been compromised by those in power since 1990. Our dreams for a better life for Namibians has been shattered by crooks who masquerade as harbinger of hope, prosperity, and happiness. What we are witnessing today is a society degenerating into unstable greed of cabal of few and deepening misery for the majority. In spite of this, our desire and drive to ensure that all Namibians are treated with dignity and respect, and that they enjoy the best from the endowment of our vast natural resources, has kept us fighting forward without letting up. It is this fighting spirit which has defined us as the land of the brave. It is this fighting spirit which will see us through this quagmire of nepotism, favoritism, patronage, and cronyism. These vices are the lowest and least imaginative form of corruption that have adversely undermined the lives and livelihood of our people to this day. The level of corruption in our country is symbiotic of the levels of moral decay that have engulfed our being as a nation. Namibia today is drowning in a have all, possess all mentality that has become an endless orgy of spend and gain by hook and crooks. Political position and the power have become keys to accessing resources meant for the general goods and converting them into private goods. Namibia must be sensitized to harbor the corrupt and not celebrate them. Director of Proceedings, delegates, and patriots, it thus goes without saying that you are about to embark on a thought, yet glorious path to change to restore the dignity of our people and save Namibia from the current ruling elites who are engaged in self-enrichment schemes while the masses of our people are singing in a bong of poverty. Surely, such people have no moral fiber or a single patriotic conscious bone in them. It is therefore vital, if we are to restore the dignity of our people and break the cycle of poverty, that we address the prevailing social and economic inequality so that there can be a peace and prosperity among our people. This will also give us the chance to heal the wound of our colonial past. The task of restoring the dignity of our people is of supreme importance. This should be stressed in no uncertain terms. And I'm very happy, and our people are waking up. Namibia is in the midst of an overdue national conversations about ending the rampant corruption, as well as the exigence for radical social, political, and economic change. Our people want change. Together we can. Yes, we can. Change is coming and will happen in our lifetime. Change is on the way, and here we are today. What we need is a final push using all existing constitutional methods available. All hands must be on deck. Our people, the Namibian people, are yelling for a change in the way the business of the nation is being mismanaged. The will of our people will triumph. Change is coming. I see it and I can feel it. As a new kid on the Namibian political landscape, the Independent Patriots for Change, IPC, must talk issues. You must not mimic the politics of character assassinations by targeting others in a below the belt manner. Others will turn panicky due to IPC entry on the Namibian political scene, and they will start playing low-level politics out of frustrations. Dirty gutter politics should not be part of the IPC parties as Sodom. Don't allow yourselves to stoop to such shameful level, even if, politically speaking, it's often not a probable or realistic expectation from people who are not angels. After all, if men were angels, no government would be necessary. To borrow the words from James Madison Jr., the fourth president of the United States from 1809 to 1817, Director of Proceedings, Delegates, and Patriots. Some cynics already are charging you with being assembled here for the purpose of plotting the demise of the Swapo party. In my view, the unity and the working of the party is already disrupted by the slate politics within. And if it were not disrupted, we would not behold the spectacles of squabbles for positions in every structure of that party, from the sections, branch, and district up to regional level. My understanding is that you are here today for the purpose of charting a new beginning to better the quality of life of Namibians in a very in every settlement, village, town, and city of our beloved country. In the final analysis, this convocation is for the purpose of eliminating that form of belly politics which is responsible for the harsh conditions of our people in our country. You need to be true to yourselves, to undeceive those cynics. Give them to understand that you, as patriots for change, are animated by motives to loft for them in their baseness and sourness to comprehend. Give them to understand that the motive here is not to use politics as a means of self-engrandishment, but that the motive of the men and women assembled here is to save Namibia and save our country we have. by championing a noble agenda of an open, egalitarian, accountable, corrupt-free government and society. Director of Proceedings, Delegates and Patriots. I have seen many new political groupings being torn asunder by internal petty pickerings. And I am of those who believe that if we get together in the true patriotic spirit of a better Namibia, unnecessary differences will not surface if you confront all issues before with your intelligence combined, acting together in a concert, all animated by the same higher resolve to form that great party of Independent Patriots for change, so necessary to save our country and extricate poor Namibians from destitution. Now, I'm not here to give a lecture on the future form of organizations and character of the IPC party. To quote from the Russian revolutionary Vladimir Ilyich Ulyanov, better known by his alias Lenin, it's not our business to grow wheat in flower pots. By pulling up the tares, we clear the soil for the wheat. And while others are tending their flower pot crops, we must prepare the reapers not only to cut down the tares of today, but to reap the wheat of tomorrow. But let me suggest in a few words that to accomplish its purpose, the IPC party must be a broad-based national organization. It must be an organization of patriots capable of maintaining the energy, stability, and the continuity of political struggle. The IPC party must be the embodiment of the aspirations of mainly the marginalized masses of our people, the poor of our society. It must be the party of the ranks and files. It must be so organized and so guided as to appeal to the intelligence of the people nationwide. The character and the main content of your political agitations must be well thought out to reflect the prevailing reality in our country. And if you succeed, as I believe you will, in informing such a party, its success is a foregone conclusion. Now, let me say in closing, patriots, and I have tried to condense, not wishing to tax your patience or take the time of others. For I believe that in such conversations, and it's more important that we shall perform than we shall make speeches. Let me say in closing that you and I and all of us who are here to enlist the services of changing the way our country is being run need to have faith in each other, not the faith born of ignorance, frustration, and anger, but the enlightened faith of altruism, of self-sacrifice. We are in a precisely the same position. We depend absolutely upon each other. We must get close together and stand side by side, shoulder to shoulder. We know that without unity, nothing is possible. That it's nothing impossible. Thus, the importance of forging unity and having a common purpose in a patriotic, conscious grouping that strive to bring about much needed change in our society. We must strengthen and increase our collective actions to renew the energies of true patriots for change, much needed in a country where self-centeredness and unsustainable, unequal patterns of life and lifestyles are promoted at the expense of the improvised majority of our people. Director of Proceedings, Delegates and Patriots, we are at the crossroads. Namibia is hungry for change. The momentum is swinging the way of the patriots for change. You dare not miss this historical opportunity. A renowned strategy expert, William A. Cohen, advised, seize the initiative and keep it, while USA General George S. Patton said, I don't care what the enemy intends to do. I only care about what I intend to do. Patton knew that taking the initiative is always critical for any strategy. Thank you. God bless you and all the work you are embarking upon. As I've stated, this message came from Diva Angula, and is one of our patriots. Proceeding with solidarity messages. The next one is from NIF, Namibia Economic Freedom Fighter, and I believe the leader was the leader is here or was here. Okay, their message read as follow. It's titled Message of Support. Whereas Namibia attained political freedom and independence and civil and political rights granted in the Constitution of the Republic of Namibia, whereas Namibia belongs to all its citizens and its resources should be shared and exploited for common goods regardless of race, social, tribal, and ethnic origin, gender, or other ethnic groups. Whereas there is a need to foster the revolution spirit in our people towards negative tendencies of intolerance, injustices, and fear, whereas the growing gap between rich and poor is escalating, whereas the current political culture is unfulfilling and based on the abuse of office, political patronage, corruption, nepotism, and all social evils. Today, I, John Mulinasho Epaphras Mkwilongo, the Commander-in-Chief of the Namibia Economic Freedom Fighters, NIF, would like to present to you this message of support from the desk and files of the leadership of Namibia Economic Freedom Fighters. Namibia belongs to us all, and it is true by saying it's all we have. Know that you are at the onset of your political organizations. You need to be vigilant with all progressive status and build a formidable, strong political organizations. Stay focused, as this will lead to a success way of doing things. Avoid leadership crisis. Avoid political enemies to destroy your political stance, as it's the core principle to save and defeat the struggle for economic slavery in Namibia and Africa at large. It's of this political background that, for your organization to prosper, political discipline needs to prevail within your structures of IPC. It is with discipline we will fight together to liberate our country's men and women economically. With these few words, welcome to the political playground, and let us wish you a healthy political participation. I thank you, CIS, Honorable Jen M.E. Mkwilongo Nief. Then our last solidarity message came from Congress of Democracy, COD. And on this one, we have observed that Honorable Gurila, yeah, he's here. And the COD message read as follows. We wish to thank you for the kind invitation extended to us to witness the formal launching of your organizations, the Independent Patriots for Change, IPC, this morning. About 20 years or so, history summoned us on a similar path. The immediate circumstances then were threefold. Italic 1, as an illegal foray by the government into the DRC. Italic 2, a decision by Swapo to lay the ground for an unaccountable gerontocracy to pillage our country's resources by changing and chopping our country's constitution in furtherance of the vice of lifelong rule by African leaders, which has helped to keep our continent backward whilst they live in uncomfortable wealth. And Italic 3, a government which progressively looked more like an old man's old age home, far removed from a population made up of mostly of youth and women. In this instance, we are happy to note that one of our core platform of zebra composition and 50-50 gender representation are becoming a feature of Namibian political life. Thanks for the misrule of the last 3 decades, our country is now saddled with growing national debt, whilst our country continues to mint multi-millionaires living large on the wealth of our country. These multi-millionaires feed off the natural resources of our country, and let's face it, blatant looting of the treasury. The time is long past, therefore, for us to come together to consign this regime to history in the interest of our country. It's one of the countries whose independence came late. We have witnessed how those we entrusted with power have often played fast and furious with the Commonwealth. Perhaps the time has come that we have something similar to the Zondo Commission in South Africa to probe the scales and depth of corruption and malgovernance in this country. For all these reasons, we welcome the launch of your organizations this morning. We believe that as we work further down this road, and we'll find a formula on how can we work closer as we march down to 2024 and beyond. Welcome to the battleground of Godspeed. Patriots, those were the solidarity messages from individuals and some of our political party already on the ground. Namibia is all we have. Let us save it.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Mr. Shimesha, for all these messages and solidarity messages that you brought us. I also would like to acknowledge the presence of Mr. George Kambala from the AR movement. Are you here? Oh, George Kambala, welcome. The next person to deliver a message or make a statement is Mr. Lungameni. Mr. Lungameni, you want to come to the front? Please. While he's coming, can we just quickly stand up? Yes, let us stand up and stretch ourselves a bit, huh? Do this. Thank you.
Yes, I thank you. I thank you very much. I thank you very much because before I'm not saying thank you, I see the people are just sleeping, sitting and sleeping. That we say a slogan, one Namibia, one Namibia, one nation. Okay, thank you now, I see. You are not sleeping. Because some people I say maybe they don't know me. I'm Matthews Lungameni. I'm Matthews Lungameni, the spokesperson of Fishermen United Association, Walvis Bay and the Ruderge. The fishermen who are wending to the strike for 5 years now. Allow me to speak in English, but take care, I'm illiterate, because we study Bantu education by that time. But I can try, each and everybody. I can try, each and everybody, to understand. Because not all of us, we speak one language, but the Constitution is indicate you can even speak to your own mother language, especially in Article 19, culture. Yes, but for now, we can try to go ahead. We try to go ahead with official language, English. Before I'm not started, I just want to thank you to this opportunity which I got for invitation, as a special invitation to come here. First, I want to thank you to the Director of Ceremony, Master Kluger, and I thank you to which we call the player, but Pastor Lucas Katenda or Bishop, I think so. Is it Bishop? Because I heard only in the radio, it's the first time to meet with him today. Yes. Don't feel confused to say pastor or maybe, or let me continue. I just want to give you the historical short for the fishermen. Since 26th of October, 2015, up to now, we are still in strike. Yes. We have the leader of this country. We have knocked on the door of this country. We have knocked on the embassy. We have knocked to the peers. We have knocked to the current president before, prime minister. And now, as he comes to the seat of president, we were there to the State House. But there's nothing solution. First of all, I want to post my question particularly to current political leaders. I know the majority of the political leaders are here. Maybe they can answer me if they will, because there's nobody can force someone to do something if he don't want to do. It is the resources of country belong to the politician only, is our diamond, uranium, fish, copper, and the political position only. The fishermen, we have been in strike for 5 years demanding our right, safety condition at the sea, safety condition at the workplace where at the sea. Like Section 17, overtime, and Section 19, night allowance, as per Labor Act of 11/2007, as indicated. The fishermen are working more than 22 hours per day consecutive without sleep. But they didn't get anything from overtime or night allowance. Do you understand? Section 42, subsection 1, is indicated that if there is any reasonable that the safety or condition at the workplace is not safety, the employer may leave the place of work as long as he informed the employee. It's what we did. It's what we did. Then later, the politician, because they are the owner of the fishing right, 95% of parliament, they are the owner of the fishing right. I'm correct or I'm wrong? They declare that our strike is illegal. They say it's illegal strike. They protect their own interest. We know during the course of 2 years, we are in the strike. We're getting our colleagues died, they are committed suicide, and they have blood pressures. They are 26. They are dead. But if you see, we have to knock all the door of this in and out to the industry and outside the industry. Also to the current President Minister, nothing solution. I tried to write a letter, more than 2, to Mr. Esau. We talked to Saki Sangala before, Attorney General, Minister of Labor Eric Ngintina, PS Abla Matthew Singwaja, Chief Ankama. I wrote the letter to the founding president and the founding of the nation, of the father of the nation, and we are also the nation. The nothing solution. I talked to write a letter to Minister Sarah Kuhongerwa Amadila and to all political parties, including the ruling party Swapo. There's nothing solution. What we hear today, we heard 2 ministers are in jail because of the corruption for the fish lot. They protect their own interest, but they said the fishermen, they are in an illegal strike. Let me tell you something, in short. I'm working for the company, what we call Fisco. Fisco is the joint venture with Sea Flower. Sea Flower, the government have 20% in this company. Seacop is the company from Spain. Then the name is come together, Fisco and Sea Flower, then they come Fisco. Sea Flower and Fisco, understand? They come joint venture that they make Fisco. We was having a CEO, Lonnie Copen, for a long time, maybe for 10 years, because I employed there for 13 years. Bernard Esau, he took Maikangi Punya from his office in the Ministry of Fisheries in Windhoek. Then he sent Maikangi Punya to Sea Flower, which is called Fisco, to be a CEO. So that when they are in the soak ground, one in the back, one in the front, then they can score. Understand? See what they did? They suspend me for 1 year because I talking the truth. But I won the case. Then they pay me money for the whole years. See what they did? They having the system of rule and debating system. The rule and debating system to the workplace is very, very dangerous. Because once you are there, you try to convince the workers so that we can united. One of the workers, he go to the superior office, I say, maybe we say this and this and this. And from that, the slogan of the workers, you know, united we stand, divided we fall. Is where the workers going to fall down. They going to report slow by slow. Then they say the one who give the politics here is Matthew. Then they suspend me. But nevertheless, I was winning the case. I just go for the holiday. I have a letter for holiday with a stamp. But once I come back to the work, they dismiss me without hearing also. It's what they did. Yes, we just explain what and what. Here there's a company for Icelandic company. They have 3 vessels, which is called Gisa, Saga, and Inesta. Those vessels, they catch the fish is from 2014 up to 2015. What they did, Benatayasau, we having a 2 vessel patrolling for the fishing patrol. He said there is no diesel for the fishing patrol to go to patrolling the sea. He stopped. One day I go to the radio, Eagle FM. I said the businessmen try to make a contribution so that the patrolling vessel to go to the sea. Because I realize I have a family, a friend who are employed by that time. Some is observing, fishing observing. Once, fishing observing, talk to the captain. Captain, he take the telephone, then he call to the officer of the fishery in Werfes Bay. Later, they call the fishing observer, telephonically call from the officer to the fishing observer in the sea. I would they want to disturbing the people who are working? You know what? Those vessels, they just going to catch to the shallow water where the fish getting the baby hake or baby fish and eggs. Here's how it's not only store the fish lot, but also destroying our resources. You understand? The fish is like a woman. Once the woman is pregnant, the time is coming to get a baby. He go to what we call Okanyofi in the hospital to go to get a birth. It's what the fish make. They're going to the shallow. Because they want to make quickly a catch, they stop the fishing patrol so that they not go to patrolling to see if the vessel is to the shallow waters. Those 3 vessels, they indicated that the catch with catch per day here in Namibia to Icelandic, they can catch for the whole years. But here it's just 1 day. You understand? Those people, they are making money for 3 to 4 people, where the people for the Namibia are starving and jobless. Let me tell you something. In 2003, I was in Spain, in Vigo. I was with my captain, Ruiz. Captain Ruiz, he tell me that I wonder why I see the people are standing to the door of the company here in Namibia, where you're having only the population for 2.5 million. We getting the job from the sea of Namibia. We're going to make a job creation in Vigo. We go with him because he's my superior. We go to all of the factory there in Vigo. Then I see the book. Then I get the people who are work there is 3 million getting their job from our sea. He said he know that here there's a defense, there is a hospital, there is another sector, transport and whatever in the government and the private sectors. But all of our Namibians is amazing. We can get the job from the sea. We have a lot of the fish in our sea. Listen carefully. Here in the world, there is only 3 countries having good quality for the fish, go straight to the laboratory, straight to the market, but not to go to end up in the laboratory. Namibia, South Africa, and Argentina. You understand? If all of us wake up and see with the big eyes to those who don't want to create the job because they are rich enough with their family, we are stay behind. Let each and everybody wake up, then we have to know what is the way forward. We tired. We are Namibian nation, we are tired. We was having a meeting with Dr. Kawana, Albert Kawana. Albert Kawana, he promised the fisherman job. While we was on the strike, we was not looking for the job. Some of us, we was on our workplace. We worked for more than 20 years in the company, but they dismissed the workers. We fought any hearing. They dismissed the workers. We fought paying severance pay as per section 35, subsection A and B. If the workers work for 12 months consecutive, you are entitled to get severance pay. You know how to pay the severance pay. You get 1 week per year. Understand your salary. Your salary per day is 1 week per year. I think each and everybody understands what I really want to say. Yes, they dismiss under the leadership of Brame Fushingwaja. Once we going to seek the help of the Master Kenko, we was having more than 4,000 fishermen from Ruderich and Warves Bay. Then they brought us there to Okahanja Park, is where we sleeping by that time. They said we are the terrorists, we want to overthrow the government of Hake. They just to create. Hake, he called us. We was 10, then we go to the State House. We discussing, and he was full support us. Later, I heard he was having a meeting in Swapo. He said, fisherman, when you quarrel with your employee, did you come to me? Did you come to me? Did you come to me when you quarrel so that I can give you any ideas? You see what he said in Swapo. By that time I was not there, it's my colleague who was there. Later in New Era, they write that Matthew Lungameni is angry with President. Well, I was not there. Then I go to the office of New Era, then they make a 2-lane inside of the newspaper that they approach for me. You understand? It's what they did. Yes. By that time we was in the State House, President delegate Eric Ngintina so that he can solve the problem. Eric Ngintina, he called the meeting, where he called Sakshangala, Chief Ankama, Arvos Naruseb, Ms. Nokokule, and who else? And they said, we have to resolve this problem as quickly as possible. But they went there to Warves Bay. While we waiting, P.S. Brame Singwaja and the Minister of Labor, he make a U-turn, then he go to Swakop Mund to negotiate with unaffected fishermen. He just take the free fishermen in the street, then they go to sign agreement for MOU that MOU is very badly conditioned to our fishermen. They say only that MOU, then they said the people must go back to work. If you don't want to go back to work, they dismiss you. It's what they did. But our colleague, the fishermen who went there, they said they paid each and everyone, he get 50,000 to go to sign MOU. One of them, we don't want, those union and the company, they don't want to give him 50,000. They just making him like this. Then he come to us to inform us that we was paid, but they don't want to give me my money. They did a mistake, but they did not a mistake. The God is the one who creates to left one out so that he can come to inform us. They say, those two guys, they pay already the taxi. Now they have a taxi, but we have nothing. I just trying, when I go to the company, they say go to the union. When they go to the union, I said go to the company. It's well we understand that those people are paid. We're trying to struggling to be on a strike. For now, luckily, Kawana has come to us, but we can't say luckily because he just make for empty promise. To me, I say empty promise. We give it the job back. How can you give me job back if I was not asking the job? I'm asking overtime, my money overtime, which the company owing me. Overtime and night allowance is in the Labor Act, Section 17 overtime and Section 19 night allowance. But they don't want to pay the fishermen because the conflict of interest, they are own of the company. Then I referring the case to the Labor Commissioner for unfair labor practice. Labor Commissioner, he said our case is prescribed. Where this case for the labor matters for the right, it's costing for 1 year before prescribed. It was having only 2 days to left for prescription. For now, I decided to go to the High Court. Then I referred the case again. Our case number is 00178. If you go to the e-justice, 00178. If you go to the e-justice, then you have to see. When we got there, we find Justice Angula. I think he's a deputy judge president. Justice Angula is the one who go to judge for our case. Where Justice Angula and the late John Chongalelo, they are in the Oceanic Fishing Company. They started in 1995 up to now. By the law, you can't go to judge something where you have the conflict of interest. And the Justice Angula, as from today, he don't want to recuse himself in our case. We give him the petition already. We give the petition to the judicial, but Justice Angula, he just want to carry on with our case. I don't know why, I wonder. Maybe I get any assistance from you. You can give me assistance because I have to wasting a lot of money to the lawyer. For now, our case is supposed to be on 5 next month because due to the problem, there's a quarantine for the lawyers. I think you heard what happened. Our lawyer also in the quarantine. It is next appearance because the case is still to the case management. You understand? The case is still in the case management. It will be heard maybe whether they can Justice Angula decide, because we want to review the case. To review. But he want to go ahead, he said, he's going to go ahead with this case in the High Court. He said in the High Court, there is also the labor matters. But according to my experience, the labor court, exclusive jurisdiction, it's exclusive jurisdiction. To the High Court, when he proceeding with the case, when he can proceeding with the case, he can postpone the case as many as he went. It's what he want to do so that the workers get the tired. I can give you that historical and short, but one thing I want to remind you is the last. We have Tunakor Company. The chairperson of Tunakor Company was right Tate Kuruya Toivo. It's everybody who know. And in Tunakor Company, they are the shareholder, the member of the parliament. And there is also the vessel, what we call Omake. I know maybe each and everybody who know who's the owner of Omake. Omake? This company is employing more than 4,000 workers. But all of the higher cases of COVID-19 are from Tunakor in Walvis Bay. While we are stage 1 in lockdown, Tunakor will just continue work. Understand? If you come out today here in the hall, you have COVID-19, they employ others to the same place. But they say to the workers, don't talk that you are from Tunakor. As from today, from the beginning, the Tunakor just carry on. More than 100 people having COVID-19 are from Tunakor. I guarantee that. And if you have, I have a family there. One day was in the quarantine. But the slogan, they say, if you don't want to work, you just go back home so that you can wait the coronavirus to stop. I'm fed up. I'm thank you to comrade.
Thank you. Let us move on the program. Thank you, Mr. Lungameni. The next message is by Tatakulu Toivu Ashipala. Tatakulu, are you here? Yes, he's coming. We are moving slowly. We are building up towards the climax, and that is when we will hear the keynote address. Let's have some music. No music. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Fellow Namibian, before I'm going to introduce myself, I'm going to ask each and everybody just to silence for 2 minutes. The reason is very, very simple to ask for that. The case we had during the struggle for independence of this country, we had our comrade who wanted to correct the Swapo leadership. And those people, they are also their life executed by political leadership of Swapo. Among others, those who are executed, I can just imagine 2. Jackson Hampembe and the Leona Tashirongo area. Can we silent for 2 minutes, please? Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, countrymen, the time is coming to correct the Swapo leadership. The headline of this message, Namibia is not for sale. That is the headline. Introduction. My name is Toivo Ashipara. I was born in Unsati region in the district called Uparuri. That is my name. Before I'm going ahead, I salute IPC. Aruta! Aruta! I'm a sick person. Come with me. When I left this country, this was in 1936. I think most of you here, you were not born. To fight for the independence of this country, because we felt the apartheid regime failing us. They didn't want to listen to our requests or demands. I came to Botswana, a formerly British protectorate, where all refugees from Southern Africa, Namibia, South Africa, Botswana, Lesotho, it's not Lesotho, Mozambique, were accommodated there. What at that time was only a transit. After 6 months or 7 months, we left to Tanganyika, currently Tanzania. Follow our leaders, Nyoma, Jacob Kuhangwa, and the others. We were very impressed to have a committed leadership. During that, we came to Tanganyika or Tanzania, where Swapo founded a people liberation army called Suara. Now before they came up with a name Prana. I was one of those people who were trained and come back to overthrow apartheid regime. This was not a criminal case. Nelson Mandela, he said, he was forced to form Mkundo Asizwe, the self nation. This is what we did, like Mandela he did. We were trained together with a lot of Namibians. In Egypt, I was trained as demolition commander. Committed for that. And later on, we found that Swapo was in the wrong directions, leadership. In 1966, while we were there, at a place called Kongwa, Nyoma came to us and they tell us he has intended to come back to South West Africa. I was one of those who stand up. I'm saying, Nyoma, what are you going to do? He said, yeah, I'm going there because of the apartheid regime. Tell the world that I was not chased out of the country. Then I said, no, you are already sending people inside already, back in 1964. Those who were already inside the country, under the commander of Masana Ngundu. And those people were they were already run by the apartheid regime. They were here. When he answered me, he said, I didn't invite anyone to follow me. If you don't want to listen to what I'm saying or accept, you can just take yourself and go and become international refugees. I'm saying, oh, we waste our time. And the two other fellow, Junior Sakanyeku, and the Kaufrane Piro, and the whole meeting, they were supporting me. All of us who were there, almost 90%, we were young people. On the following day, Nyoma called Masana Nyemba. And he told the Nyemba straightforward that those who don't want to listen or don't want to follow me, please get their name and send them out from this camp and keep them somewhere. If they want a scholarship, they can get their own school. This was happening. So now I came back, and we were left there together with other guys. In 1967, we took our decisions together with other colleagues. I was in the company of Shilongo Hawanga, Simoni Hinotwa, Gerard Awene, and my brother is a junior brother of Andiba Toivo Yatoivo, Nestori Yatoivo. He is still alive here. We came to Kenya to become an international refugee, and we were establishing ourselves as a politician, and we were receiving a lot of visitors. We wrote a lot of letters to UN during the Secretary General was called Usanda, born from Burma. We never lose our security or give up our security, Namibia, to be free. That is where today we are having this. How many of you are having this? How many of you? Put your hand up. Oh, sorry, thank you. I think today you are going to some way to get it. Nobody is going to ask you some money. It's a free. It's a free. That is why you can pay the power to say, I'm demanding for my right. This is what I saw in the papers, or when the Dr. Itula, when he is rising up, he is talking about the Constitutional Republic of Namibia. He never came out and talk without this or mentioning any article, because he knows what is right. This causing how many people are dying? More than 90% of it because of this. And then the current president, he said, what is so-called Western principle. He was the chairman of this, where this constitution was drawn up. fellow patriots, ladies and gentlemen, I'm very, very, very happy to see your faces here, sitting in front of me. My age currently, yes, I'm talking, I'm 85. I'm 85. And I'm still having this the spirit of nationalism. I'm living in poverty. I'm still one of those who are getting $1,300. I'm never begging anybody. I'm working for myself. You'll find me in the street. Selling tomatoes, selling sweet to support that $1,300. I'm still surviving. And you shouldn't say that, I'm telling the liars. I didn't get any cent for what my contribution. I gave it to Swapo, to the liberation of this country. I didn't get even one. I had applied for that. I was next to Hidipam Tenya and Dr. Yake Hangara. That was 2008. And 3 years later, or 5 years later, I received a letter from what's so-called veteran office, saying my application was rejected. I'm saying, okay. That time I was very, very in critical sickness. That is why to open a mouth is not so higher. I'm very, very happy to see you, my fellow countrymen, ladies. What I want you young people, pass off the money. This money is going to disintegrate this party. Those people, they are fighting weapon like money. Because the Namibian people, they like money. When we were in exile, people are saying, the Namibian leadership, their intention number one formula is money, women, dressing nicely. These are the things we know by international people. And this is not a lie. Was not a lie. It's a truth. This is what is going on here. My experience in exile, awareness of the corruption. Corruption, we have to take a note. Very, very, very serious. Yes, I was listening to what the people are saying. Corruption destroys the country. Money, fish rot. I'm always buying newspaper. It doesn't matter, cost me $5, what. Every day, money stolen. Master who. The money, where is this money? The money is the North. All these people making money, millionaire, they are in the North. There was two big business people here. Popovets and Lisa. Those people never get a millionaire for 1 year. And a millionaire within this Swapo government, only one day. No $20 was stolen. Every day, it's 1 million, 2 million, 6 million, 7 million. Nobody could hear Masasoka's arrest. And those who are involved, they ask for a post, especially big men, they are using young people. They are using young people. Because they know that young people, they can send them among their young brothers, sisters. Freedom and democracy. I thought people, when we are talking about democracy. Namibia is a sovereignty. One time IPC visited. No, this is not a republic. This is a monarchy. When you come to the monarchy, Swaziland, the King Mswati is the one who decided everything in Swaziland. All these young ladies from Swati, they are having machete base. Machete base. Machete base. This is what is the same as happening here. The use of our resource in a democratic Republic of Namibia. This is up to you, young people. I was watching you for many years. I was watching the young people for many years. Their food was cooked, but they don't want to come to the food to eat. When I'm talking the food was cooked, I'm talking the constitution already, we had the right to say yes or no. For 30 years, you never use the power of the people. You never use your power. You never use your power. Now I want you to start to use your power. Good governance. Where are we seeing good governance in this country? Where? Education, health services. If I can show you here, I'm the hospital in Chume, but there's no medicine. There's no medicine. I must go to the pharmacy to see whether I can get a medication. One medication called Combora costs $570. Where can I get that money? I must get that money from that 1300. I get it from the state. Then I must forget about the food, because I have to preserve my life. Everything is totally is nothing anymore. That is heresy. All these people having money, I didn't hear anyone came to Katutura. They are going to Catholic hospital. Who is going to pay the cost? You and me. They are not going to pay anything. Or some of them, they are going to run even to France to be treated in the military hospital. This is what they are doing. And me, go to Katutura. Go to Katutura. We are dying, especially in this country, because the healthy is a paradise. Doesn't do anything worse. My special doctor was a Nigerian. That is why today I'm standing in front of you. For 5 years. And the last doctor, that Nigeria, I don't know whether he resigned or I don't know what happened to him. I found one of the Kumban. I don't like this Kumban myself. Because of the way they are trained, I don't understand it. He wrote to me, he wrote my passport, refer me to somebody else there. When I came there, I found one meme, it's a doctor, a Kavango ladies. He read my passport almost for 30 minutes. He said, no, I'm very sick and tired for this. You are complaining hip, you are complaining back, you are complaining hip, you are complaining back. What is wrong with you? You can just go there to I want to see your blood. After that, you go to the X-ray, where they found that in my whole backage, ribs are sore, nothing. My whole length, they sore. So it's muscles. It's muscles also. And she was giving me special tablets, which I'm still using. I'm still in the hand of the doctors. I'm not free yet. The messenger to my comrade doctor. I want to tell you something which is very fun. I'm having my daughter, which the name of Panduleni Itula. I given this name to my daughter, now before she was not born. The reason was very simple. The person who was one of the person who was leading 5 Western powers during the 1977 was Don McKennedy. That is why I'm given that name after that a prominent politician from USA, and he was a special emissary for the case of formerly Southwest Africa. My message to you, doctor, please do what we want, what the people want. Don't make your own decision before you consult your cabinet, as other people are doing here. Now somebody was voted and working with the people. He's talking like an alarm in a tosha. I give you position, I give you the work, you don't want to support me. What are you saying? Now you allow the people to make a lot of what against the Swapo party, what are you? Eh? He doesn't know that people are now fed up. People, Namibian people now, what I can see is become mature. You are become mature. I told one of my fellow, according to some writers, Muchetungu quotation, a great revolutionary leader, he said, when you approach somebody, if he doesn't want to listen to you, leave him alone. Give a chance. Come back later. Either how many are you going to come back to him or to him? Once you understand what your aspiration, he will support you thoroughly. And I quote my son, Dr. Itula. He said, please, don't try to hate those who are not going with our way. Take them as a countryman, as a lady, as Namibian fellows. That is 100%. Namibian people, when we were in exile, we were staying together. There was no Swanu, there was no Swapo. We were together like so. South African fellows, they were never staying together. Zimbabwe fellows, they never staying together. Unless they are in the same party. Our comradeship or our brothership was destroyed by Swapo party. Swapo created animosity among the Namibian people. That is why we are having a different tribe. One doesn't like that one, that one doesn't. Now this is up to the doctor. This opportunity yours to bring these people, Namibian people, in the same law. Passing through the same. Viva!
Thank you very much.
Mr. Speaker. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you very much, Mr. Ashipala. To have this message from the elders is very important to us. He shared with us his experience, but he also cautioned us that we must not fall in the same traps. And thank you very much for the faith that you put in us and in this leadership. And we will try to do our best. The next on the agenda, we are getting there. You know, you will agree with me, one thing we have enough in this country is time. Huh? I deliberately didn't push people. Huh? I think let us give people a chance to say what they want. But we are getting there. There will be an audio message now, a very short one, I was told, but a very important one from the Tualoloka location. We all know what happened there recently. And there's a message. Whether it's from them or to them, I don't know, but let's listen.
IPC state darwa nena mama fikweli abali omujonti tatu moduloma avera abali no milongo mbali tangita tekalunga ashatuma okana kae keweke tumangulule nakae metumo no moilonga gakufe Namibia momake mokanya kongoshi no momake pangelo lo ulingilingi no ukengelelezi obale livo imaliwa no maliko se obakalimo obotwalo lokamombaye ohatuti kala no mwenyo ule ne ngono koni mayoye okotuli efimbwalishe no pelilonge kida nokutokola ukusikula efimbwalishe ondelinekela esisha epeninga kufse omwesi udanale katuna bali omaokololo asikena ndeonga ose itatushuna monima mopaife ngaha otatunirwa ne tuje momutumba pambele wanga ashi atushiningishito otelinekela notuna omukumo kutya otulieni pamwe nande epangelo letu mangela mombaye se otwaloloka nedzina letu italishenje nande bahala betupe omadina avo abakala betu nunina nale onzinekela oshawana manga okana nakaemetumo ngaashi Moses akufile Israeli muupika wa Engipiti IPC tukupa muupika wa alambe tangi kelongelo kumwe eshitalikalapo tate Kalunga nekuwedeleko enakale pamwe nave efimbwalishe otuliko nima yoye otwatokola ohatukushukula keshe apatoi na keshe shitoningi ohatushiningi ohatushitambula kono maokweli abali ashike hatukwanjeka mamaka tate Kalunga oene ngono okupangela keshe umwe yo ene ngono okutokola majengo ntoni satana keshe oene ngono oye anje ngono konleri keshe outaduru kukulelo shiwana ningoleli wo shiwana inoleli imaliwa inolelo maliko talelwa kepangelo liliko inoninge pangelo lo ukanyamukulu ngasha abatavishiningi tate onzinekela notamona nale owetuponjila shashi apo peifo yango nekombada medzina loe ngeno kwalipo ngeno mutu inatuka tunashe atumono sheka tunashingeno tashiva kala nengono tuyeni komesho ongo bakweita inatulingeni nayi natukala nituyeni mewilimwe ngaashi nana ababaile kombada bakalelo shilongo shetu nande shibakajako bapo beba kupulashi batabe kala ina beba tarashika pa ibadidirika kucha oleta duru kala nabo APC prikila komesho onkumono matokolo na uyepo mbada na mamakata tate Kalunga.
Thank you very much for that. Next on our agenda is a poem. I assume the poet is Monica, Miss Monica. Are you around, Miss Monica? There she's coming. And she's got a poem, I think I was told, specifically written for this occasion. So please.
Greeting Patriots, greeting Dr. Itula. What an honor to be here today. This is the piece. This is a cry for a Namibian child. Our wells have run dry, our calabashes are empty. We have worn out. Hunger has stricken our motherland. We cry for the wind of change, we cry for liberty. Panduleni Itula, arise. Arise to save this nation, arise to set us free, arise to lead us. Lead us out of poverty, lead us out of homelessness, lead us out of hunger. Panduleni Itula, arise. Our land is no longer our land. Our resources are no longer our resources. Panduleni Itula, arise. This land so rich, but yet now so poor. This land so great, but now it has fallen. This land, Namibia, my motherland. They have hammered her rights with the nails of corruption, her labor reward deprived. Then a Namibia whose tears streaked her streets unrest. Panduleni Itula, arise. Oyako motora ya manapo, uyamba oshirongo ya jayapona, ushi atasina ushi apono ndhiru. Usipa wa hupu pota wekora akwa na shirongo, mboka ye kama ya fohano na ya anaina, kota kutiwa ne asonanye, ashike, Panduleni Itula, fikama. Arise, give us back the land. Give us back our Namibia, the motherland. Panduleni Itula, arise. The youth roam the streets stricken hard by unemployment. Our fathers and mothers know no title deeds. They are landless. We are dying in hospitals. We have no medication, no enough equipment. Panduleni Itula, arise. Arise and lead us to economic emancipation. Panduleni Itula, arise. A new dawn has come. The Independent Patriots for Change is here to cement our humanness, and together we will march on for justice for all, to restore the dignity of our people, our candle in the dark, our only hope. We have found a leader, we have found a disruptor. Panduleni Itula, arise.
Thank you very much. Arise, Itula, arise. Arise. Yeah, I can see we are building up to what is ahead of us, what is coming. We heard it from the elderly, we heard it from the young. Can I ask next on the agenda, which is really, I think, taking us into the highlight of this afternoon, Meme Ilya Nusiku Kadikwa. Are you here? Yes, here you are. She's the one that spontaneously started singing the African Union anthem. Thank you to her. And she's going to introduce to us Dr. Itula. Thank you very much.
Director of Ceremony, Mr. Kruger, distinguished invited guests, fellow patriots, I observe and respect the presence of everyone in this room, and I greet you all. My name is Hilya Nusiku Kadikwa, and I'm from Sati region, Sandi constituency. Yes. Yes. I am standing here to perform a very important task, that of introducing a very important person in the Namibian history. I therefore feel humbled, yet grateful to carry this important task out. Director of Proceedings, fellow patriots, let me introduce to you a fearless son of the Namibian soil, a freedom fighter who was put in prison because of his participation in the struggle for independence of Namibia, a dentist, a surgeon, a lawyer, a lecturer at the Swapo political party school, an educator who educated the Namibian people about the Namibia Constitution during his very short campaign for the presidential election during 2019. A man who fought the use of EVM without a paper trail and put that unconstitutional act to an end. A person who truly loves his nation and his country. A person who regards every Namibia equal to other. I am going to introduce to you our leader that I cannot finish to introduce or to describe in these few minutes. I am going to introduce to you our own leader, our selfless leader, who is a team player, for he is a person who always consults fellow patriots when he needs to make a decision. I ask all of us here to stand and shout as loud as we can as we are receiving him. I am going to introduce to you Dr. Panduleni Itula. Doctor, the nation is ready to receive you.
Wow. Good afternoon. Absolutely delighted. Patriots! 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 Thank you very much. Director of Ceremony, may I first of all change the protocol and thank the Patriots for being here, because without the grassroots participation in any event whatsoever, we cannot start to think about marching forward. We rely and depend on the strength of our people, and it's our people that we serve. Before I go any further, and while we are standing, we must remember that there has been so much that has taken place in the past months. We had the arrival of Corona. We had also the month of July, the month in which Kachikururume Hosea Kutako, 50 years ago, at the age of 100, passed on. And also in this very month, we had a few of the people that were afflicted with the deadly disease of corona that unfortunately left us. In addition to that, a very dear comrade who spent some time in prison with me in Khobabes and in Windhoek prison, comrade late Jason Angula, who was put to rest a few weeks ago. Many of our patriots, many of our brothers and sisters are no longer here from the journeys that we as a nation has traveled. And for them, we must remember. For the people of Twaloloka, who I have visited many times, and who a few weeks ago our teams went to assist them, although we don't publicize that, they unfortunately had to be afflicted by the failure and neglect of our leaders to look after our people. For all of those, I'd love us to take a few moments of silence and to try and think back from what we emerged as a nation and what we have as a nation and what we have been deprived as a nation. May I call upon you for a moment of silence, please. Thank you very much. You may be seated. This is a journey that none of us could have thought would have traveled. May I first of all take this opportunity to thank every one of you equally. I would not want to go into the extent of singling everyone out. I want to thank you, everyone that has made the effort to travel from many of the distances in this beloved country of ours to come and share today with us the beginning of a new dawn. It is the beginning of a new dawn in which we all will be the workers, the laborers, that one day we will emerge victorious to serve our people. As we look back, we must remember only three things. We must honor the past. We must honor the heroes and heroines that sacrificed their life for us to have what we have now, Namibia. We must remember and appreciate the presence that we have got today. Because without us understanding what we have today in Namibia, we will find it difficult to build a future. We will find it difficult to be the bricks and mortar of a truly free Namibia, independent. Independent from what? We are here to establish ourselves as independent patriots for one single reason: to change. But to change in what direction? Before we go any further, we must remember that every single generation has got factors that contribute to their rise, just as much as this young lady has said it, to their rise to new horizons, to rise up to defeat the evils amongst them, the evils in their society. It is not your ethnic origin. It is not your tribe, not your mother, not your father, that defines who you become, that defines your political convictions, the principles that you believe. It is the people around you that molds you and shape you into the beliefs that will drive you one day to be able to fight and to struggle for a betterment of the lot of your people. It's not what you studied at university. It's not the number of degrees that you have that makes you a patriot. It is the love of your people. It is the love of your country. It is the belief that one day you will emerge free from oppression, free from suppression and denial, and understanding your own heritage. We are all the seeds of those who came before us. We are the seeds to protect what is bequeathed to us. We are those who came from the roots of our traditional leaders, the Fumo, the Hompas, Nyangane. We are the seeds of the people from Mulema wa Masubia, Mulema wa Mafwe. We are the people of the Hompas of Bunza, the Hompas of the Kongwari. We are the people of the seeds of the Kwanilwas, the captains. We are the seeds of Hermanes van Wyk. You are the children that once traveled during the Doortrekkers and established yourself in the Republic of Appingtonia with the capital of Grootfontein. You are the seeds of that past. But before you think about reconciliation, before you think about you being Namibian, you must acknowledge your origins. Only when you acknowledge your origin will you be able to fight, to unite, and to march forward to a new horizon, a new future. We did not only come from those. We came from Maharero, Kahimema. We came from Hendrik Verboek Anse, the third captain of the Orlams. We came from Maharero. We came from Ipumbuya Shilongo, Nehale Jampingana. Those are the people that seeded this nation. With those, they left Namibia. That is all we have. That is the land we are not prepared to sell. That is the land that we are called upon to defend. We, as citizens of this land, remember the battles in the past. There are those that say that we don't need land. The battle was all about land. Those men and women that left this country to fight for it went to fight only for three things: the land, our people, and our resources. None went to fight for a political party. None left this country, many of them belonging to a political party. They went to fight. And I want you to take a moment, place yourself in the mind of a dying freedom fighter. What was his last wishes? For Namibia to be free and its people to be exploited and subjugated by foreign forces? Was that his wish? Is that why he sacrificed or she sacrificed her life? Put yourself in the mind of a political prisoner whose hands are tied on chains and tortured. What gave him the courage to sustain and to endure the torture? Is it because he wanted to come back and suffer once more and his people live in so-called informal settlements? Put yourself in the life of a conscripted soldier who had no choice but forced to go and fight against his own brothers. What Namibia did he want to create? Think about those ones who have been dragged in order to participate in a war of maintaining what was not theirs. Yes, we all came from somewhere. We all have intentions when we marched. But what is it that drives you? What is it that brought you here? Why did you leave everything else that you were looking after in the far past? We've had many people. Think about the lives of those who represented us at the United Nations. Yes, including Comrade Hake Kenkop, including late Comrade Theo Ben Kuridap, including the young men, Peter Kachavivi. All of them, when they left this country, they were only 22, 23 years old. Each generation has got the factors that defines how and when they are going to struggle and fight for their future. What is it then that drives human beings that seeks justice to unite? What is that driven you to travel that many distances to come to the capital of these beautiful 11 hills? To try and find an answer to the current predicament of our people. What is it that holds us together? Is it the injustice that is being inflicted against our people? Is it the pain that our people feel, as it was elaborated in the poem by this young lady? Is it the pain that the fishermen for the past 5 years were asking just one question: justice? And yet, they were asking from the very people who were inflicting the pain to them. What solution could they possibly have? Why are we here today when we thought that last year, as we participated in the independent candidates presidency, that we'll see the victory? It was there. But then, in violation of the supreme law of our land, the Constitution, the separation of powers, we found that our judicial system violated the very Constitution that created them, and considered that injustice, unconstitutionality can become constitutional. We are now lumbered with an unconstitutional president, an unconstitutional term of office. Our journey began a long time ago. Our determination never lowered. In every battle that you go into war for, it's not the best first battle that wins the war. There will be skirmishes. That was but one of the skirmishes. that defined how we will march forward from then onwards. As we come together, we have spent much time listening. The best that we could do. The worst that others don't do. We spend a lot of time traveling around this country, trying to understand what was it that everybody else went out of this country to fight for. There is one thing that all those journeys brought to us. One thing only that this young man of advanced age at 85 showed us. All of that, all of those animosities, all of those battles gave us only one single weapon, our Constitution, the Constitution of the Republic of Namibia. I thought I was the only one who could remember articles. That fisherman just remembers so many sections that I can't even remember. Yes, we were constituted as a republic, founded on the principles of democracy, rule of law, and justice. We were created as a republic where all power is vested in the people of Namibia. But we realized not all power is vested in the people of Namibia. We were given a constitution so that we've got the freedom to assemble peacefully without arms, given a constitution to be able to form and join political parties in order for us to participate in the composition and in the peaceful activities of politics to influence the composition and policies of government. This is the reason why we are here today. We are here today because we decided that the journey that was traveled is not the journey that delivered the prosperity so much talked about. It's not us who said they failed. Across a few 5,000 meters away, when the ship was sinking with the mast only showing, a big bubble came up, a bubble of post-mortem. We wonder what killed it. As that bubble travels over the ripples of the ocean, one wonders what oceanic grave that was. It was still a post-mortem, but we don't know what killed it. And when the vacuum that Bishop Katenda talked about here has been created, we just didn't move in. We decided that we will march in. We will march in with determination to ensure that the dignity of our people is restored. We will march with a determination that we ensure that what emerges from here is no longer none of your business, but it will be the business of our people. Politics is about the state, and the state is about the people. And if you are not here to serve the people, you are in the wrong forum. If you have marched all those distances to come to this part of this country, from Erongo, albeit Omaruru and Karibeb, from Karas, from Ohangwena, from Hardap, Omaheke, Ochodonjupa, including Komas, Oshana, Omsati, Oshikoto, and Ohangwena, Zambezi, Kavango, East and West, and Kunene. Whatever the journey was, your journey must be a journey of determination. Because here, there will be no sleepers. Here, there will be a hard work to try and undo the injustices of the past 30 years that has been inflicted upon the people of Namibia. That's not why those soldiers march in the bushes with their boots on. Many of our freedom fighters today find themselves living in shacks. Is that what they fought for? Many of our freedom fighters still don't have a house. When we were marching last year, we were promising everyone else a house. There were houses built, yet no one could inhabit them. Now they become inhabitable. What is it that brings us together then today? in order for us to constitute that very element of societal function, a political party, a political movement of the people that will be able to determine how we'll be governed in the future. All of us came from somewhere. There are people who have come from different political parties. Even from one of the oldest political parties, Swapo, all be here as guests. They were once students that only thought about how best can we get our lives out of this situation. Many of them left as early as 1952, when Brumba Kerina, at the age of 19, was sent by Hosea Kutako to go and represent us in the United Nations with Kodongwidi, later on to be joined by Comrade Sam Nujoma. Yes, the commander-in-chief of the People's Liberation Army of Namibia that marched together with everybody else to a negotiated settlement that brought about our independence. There were many young people that sacrificed their youths just as much as you are about to do so in order for you to realize the future that your generation and the generations to come will be truly proud of. But if you don't commit yourself to making sure that this time you save the people, you'll just be repeating the same thing. Don't come here if you think that becoming a local authority councillor or regional authority councillor or one day going to parliament is a key to go and become rich. When you look at the assets that has been declared, so much land, so much wealth accumulated by so few in a short period of time, yet so many people are suffering in the villages, that they are suffering in the informal settlements. 2 weeks ago, I was in Dongalinen, and I saw young boys and young girls traveling up to 5 kilos to get fresh water. Yet we've got pictures from areas such as Ohangwena with people drinking water still from the pits. Yet we say we are independent. Independent for what? In the last 5 years, I spent some time traveling around this beautiful country of ours, across the valleys and the hills, into the open spaces of the south, where Hendrik Witbooi once laid dying and said, "Children, now you can go on. It's me they wanted." I asked one question through all those journeys from a lot of people: what did independence meant to you? It meant a lot of things to a lot of people. It meant an ugly acquisition of wealth to some. But to the majority of our people, 90% still only occupy 10% of our land. Many of our people still don't have proper education. They don't have enough facilities for their education. Go down to Kavango West. Go down to Ochimuhaka, 60 kilos from Rakana and 60 kilos from Epupa, and look at the tents that these children are supposed to be gaining their education. Go down to Makaravan East in Katima. Go down to Dama in Rundu. Twaloloka was and Twaloloka will continue to be. But when we were telling the people in Walvis Bay, bring the fire brigade closer because one day it will catch fire and much will perish, they didn't listen. When I traveled this country, I spoke to too many people. Over the years, they were accepting that yes, independence came. But as time went by, they realized that the most formidable organization that supposedly brought us independence, it was no more formidable to look after them. What then has become of a hollow vessel? There are still some of those clinging on to the brand. It's like holding on to a Coca-Cola bottle that you enjoyed, that you got addicted to. But what you don't realize, there's no more Coca-Cola inside. There's Tombo. There's Tombo inside. The values and the principles that we once stood for no longer exist. The values of democracy, solidarity, freedom, social justice, and progress are no longer practiced. What then do you have as you are still holding on to that brand? What future do you prepare your children to enjoy one day as you are holding on to that brand? They have got this saying in Oshiwambo which says that, Njugomo kuti nande komba, nyoko nande rira kagarukai. Whatever you do to a heart in the forest, in the outside, it will always gather dust. Whatever you do. When values have been trampled upon, when the principles that resulted in so many people sacrificing their lives in the belief that a future worth living shall be created out of this, when that all vanishes, then you need to stand up, men and women of the land of the brave, and say, enough is enough. You will have to stand up, because one day your children will find pride in your actions. You will be called names. They called me Kanjafa. They even said that I've got only one suit and one shirt. You will be called names. Much of dirt will be thrown at you. But you need to remain focused, because it's not the destination that matters. It's every step that you take to the destination that matters. When we now look at what has happened to what was most formidable, it is a disgrace. It's no longer the movement that was suffering for the masses. It's no longer that movement that was looking for emancipation of everyone. It's no longer the vanguard of the working class. We've heard how the fishermen has been treated over the 5 years. 26 of them perished, died, frustrated. And yet, there were people glorifying the gains they received from those who died. It's no longer the movement that was once a revolutionary, that was seen by us as young people from the 70s onward as the only answer to bring about independence for our country. It has now been hijacked by those that believe that the masses no longer exist. Once you deviate even an inch from your principles, just as someone deviated on the 6th of October 2017, once you deviate and you throw away the principles that binds you together, once you start dividing the people, your hope of leading a nation united fades away. You will become a drum that is rumbling every time you are told the truth. Every time the people march to you to tell you their pain, you no longer see it. You deviated from the very principle of solidarity and believing in what the people have told you. You are no longer the leader, but the dictator that has transformed himself from a democratic cross on the ballot paper to one which says that it is not me. It's not about you. The I bit, the my bit has changed from when we used to be the we. And that is the dangers. When in October that little dangerous autocratic tendencies started emerging, these four are the people I want to lead with. That's when democracy was thrown out of the window. The ship started sinking. That was the time, after the 5 years of accumulation of what Namibia truly is, that was the time that defined that something else needs to be done. That was the force that led to me authoring in June 2018 the independent presidential candidacy. Not for me. Brought it to the attention of one, two, until the third said, not for me, you take it on. We had only 3 weeks to organize that campaign last year. And people started saying who was supporting me. Do you know where I was when we were marching? I was in front. I didn't look behind. I didn't say anything. The only thing I did is clothe you in the banner of liberty. Until they started saying that he's using the Namibian flag. I thought it was the pride of every patriot to wear the flag. It was at that time that it was realized that once you clothe the people with a sense of patriotism, you conquered the dictator's tendencies to suppress them. Only then did we realize that the people were not following Dr. Itula, they were not following me. I was only the face of change. They were trying to protect their banner of liberty. It was that banner that led so many men and women into battle so that we can gain that freedom. The freedom we today are utilizing to compose ourselves and to constitute ourselves as a free people in a free country, forming our own movement to ensure that we serve the people. That's why when I'm saying, patriots, you will say, we shall never surrender. Patriots! Patriots! And when I say the second time, patriot, you shall say, we shall save our people. Patriots! Patriots! And when I on the third time say patriot, you say forward. Patriots! Patriots! And when I say patriots the fourth time, you say march. Patriots! Patriots! Patriots, the march to victory will be very difficult. We do recall the words of Comrade Toivoya Toivo when he said that the struggle will be long and bitter, but I'm sure my people will wage the struggle whatever the cost. But he was conscious at the trial in Pretoria when he also said, and I quote, I have come to know that our people cannot expect progress as a gift from anyone. Progress is something we shall have to struggle and work for. And I believe that the only way we shall be able and fit to secure that progress is to learn from our own experiences and our own mistakes. Have we learned? That was in 1968. In 2013, he came to say, and I quote, the unity of our people is the most important precondition to obtain the goals that we have set for ourselves. We must cherish this unity and nurture it. This means that tribalism has no place in our society. We are Namibians first and should not allow ourselves to be divided. The unity of our people also requires that we wage war against the vast gap between the few rich and the masses of the poor among our people. The shameful income inequality that exists in Namibia today undermines the dignity for which we struggled, and this is the major obstacle to achieving our aspirations. This should be the central and daily preoccupation of our political leaders and of the leaders and members of our institutions, of our private sector and of civil society. We cannot maintain and nurture unity if we permit inequality to foster. I thought that was Harambe. Trying to ensure we don't see each other, and yet failing to understand that we've got means in technology to march on. That unity that Yatoivo has spoken came out of an awakening of what was taking place home, inside Swapo. The divisions that has existed, even when he was alive. When you are diverse, You must cherish that. We came from all the regions in our diversity, but we celebrate our unity of purpose. It is not the diversity that will divide us, but the unity so that we can exercise our rights and our freedoms. But what happened is this, that there was no longer a sense of belonging. All the values were being trampled on. Why then should they be looking at you and calling you names? And let me warn you, you'll soon be called, as they say in Oshuambo, Ongudio Mpirameni. What did you turn your back against? You didn't turn your back against anything. You turned your back against the Constitution and the weapon that you deserve to utilize. That's what you've done. It is them that turned their back against the people of our nation. Therefore, when you march ahead, remember in the glory of the days to come, you will be proud that you decided to follow the constitutional provisions that are your weapons to reach the freedoms and the rights that you so deserve. When we come together today, it's a journey that we traveled with many of my comrades. Some of them are no longer here, but it's a journey that I traveled with a lot of patriots now. Patriots Kangulu are locked out in Walvis Bay, but he keep on marching. It doesn't matter where he is still commanding from there. And as we emerged, we are hoping that we will emerge into a movement that is truly grassroots. All of you here as leaders must remember one thing only. You are not here to constitute yourself in a movement that disregards honesty, integrity, dignity, and the rule of law. You are not in a movement that is going to try and tarnish the images and the personalities of any one, politician or not. You are not here to try and belittle anybody for the wrong they have done. Respect their dignity as human beings, despise what they do to the people of Namibia. This will be a movement of principled cadres that will be fight truly for the benefit of the people of Namibia. When we emerge from this beautiful place of safari, hopefully we'll still be 250. I see you were all sleeping when the news started coming out. Nonetheless, when we emerge, we'll emerge with a mandate now to speak for our people. Many people have been asking, where is Dr. Itula? Why is he not saying anything? I had no mandate, just a simple citizen. We all had no mandate. But when the people said we need a political home, you called us out to go and vote. Over 300 of those we were allocated, we don't know, came out to vote. Could we possibly leave them out in the open with no political home? When we asked them, how old are you? What do you want? They said they wanted a political home. We listened to our people. And that's why, with a few 6 people up there, we decided that it's best, the time is right to form a political home. Of course, everybody will say, how different are you going to be to the others? Bishop Katenda just told us, this is our time. We are different because this is our time. We are different because we are going to be emerging as a formidable political force in this land of the brave. We are going to be different because we will really, truly save our people. And until our people are satisfied, we cannot start saving ourselves. If we cannot look after our people, we fail. We cannot look after ourselves. They failed. Not my words. Not my words. Twice. Harambee Prosperity Plan was a failure. And now, when a leader starts blaming a party that is leading that it failed, it is not the party that failed, it is the leadership. And if you are the leader of a nation and you acknowledge failure, there's only one route: resign. The mandate you receive from the people, you failed it. You acknowledge it yourself. If you don't go, let's meet at the ballot. This time, there is no EV machines. This time, there will be a different force. It's not just Itula alone that you have to contend with. You have to contend with 14 regions of the Independent Patriots for change. You will have to contend to a people determined to resolve the sufferings of their people, black and white, irrespective of where you came from. Whether you came from the door strikers, it's time that we look forward and say, yes, that was our history. We'll never deny it. But from now onwards, we'll have to march together as a united people in this demarcation of Namibia. As we go out of here today, we'll go out having actually founded the principles which will govern us. I believe that we will maturely interact, debate issues, and we will be an organization that will debate issues. We will be an organization that will not be looking at who you are, what you are, but what you say. We will not care whether what was once an honorable house became a hooligan house. Whatever they call each other there, do not mimic them. Concentrate on the issues. As we seek to debate our constitution in the coming hours of tomorrow, we will do so conscious of only one thing: reasoning. Present your reason. Ensure you understand what you are saying, first of all, before you try to impress upon the others. It's not the others' impression that makes you a better person. It's what you believe in yourself that makes you a better person. When you believe that you are strong, you can radiate that strength out to another patriot. If we are in unison, we will not spend a lot of time on the Constitution. If we have sent it out on Monday deliberately, but a number of other people who are not here, who are not in the patriotic ship, they are now busy singing with that. That was deliberate. Keep them busy whilst we are marching and ensuring that we have got the grass fields that we will plow. When we look into that Constitution, when we look into the aims and objectives of those Constitution, let's not only read them as words, but let's look at them as an encouragement of what we, in action objectively, will be delivering to the people of this country. When we come to the final conclusion of determining whether we will bind ourselves with that Constitution as patriots, then we'll abide by it. We'll take an oath to ensure that we truly will represent our people, guided only by those principles and aims and objectives in that Constitution. We shall differ. We shall argue. But we will never shout. We are too mature for that. That's not what our people want us to be. They don't want a boxing match in this chamber. They don't want people calling each other IDIOT. Haven't gone to school enough to see what that means. IDIOT. We will debate, and I will encourage all of you to open your minds up to reasoning. I want you to close that ugly door of the emotional mind, which creates the anger, the hate, and the fear, and opens the action, and you say, oh my God, what have I said? You need to engage your reasoning mind to understand precisely what is said. Don't concentrate on the word. Concentrate the words in the context of the sentence so that you understand what you are reading. And as soon as we come out of that, we will then look who is best qualified to lead us. But those leaders are not leaders. They are only first among equals. We shall be equal because we will believe in collectivity. We will be able to rely on everybody to understand that when we take a decision as a collective force, that decision is to be executed equally by all of us with the same efficiency and effectiveness. The word sorry for not doing your job will not exist. The word mission accomplished is the one that we'll be seeking every time you are given a task to fulfill. But as you come from those distances, consider yourself honored. But let those that stayed behind not feel left out. It's forces outside our own control that dictated who comes here. But let them find the pride that truly in Article 17, we are freely representing them. We have chosen to come here as representatives, not direct participants in this event as individuals. We will collectively come together into a single voice that will define us, define our journey, define what we will do for the people of Namibia, and ensure that when November comes, we would have captured the second chamber. We would have been the second government in the second chamber. We would have been the ones that is running the local authorities in this expanse of our land. But then, remember that you are there and will be there to serve the people first. Patriots, I know we've had a long time around here. Many of us don't know each other. We still maintain that we will be able to interact and start to know each other, because the task of tomorrow will be a task, cool-headedly, that we will have to employ our minds to determine who our leaders will be. A few of us came together. We have traveled around the breadth of this country and look at what is meritorious and what is the qualities that we are looking for. Remember, every day, then there is an expectant mother. The protection of the unborn is paramount. Just as much as the chicken makes a sound and all the chicks goes underneath, we'll need to make sure that that baby IPC is well protected. We will know that there will be those, perhaps amongst us, with diverse intentions to strangle the baby before it's even born. And as a consequence of that, we will have to protect it. We will have to protect it honoring the Namibian Constitution, honoring the freedom of choice that our people have fought for us, and honoring that we as Namibians have got the right to participate in political activities. And everyone amongst us here will have that right eventually. But at the beginning, you'll have to make sure that that baby is protected, or else it will die before it could even crawl. And as a consequence of that, I believe that you'll have a cool mind that will determine exactly how we emerge tomorrow and how we emerge on Sunday. And I believe that as we have sent out the message to all the regions, for all our commanders that has remained in the regions, that they will be taking the lead and lead our people into victory as we give birth to the IPC that will truly liberate this country from the yokes of oppression. And with these words, I should perhaps now merge into making us understand what our symbols are. The flag is the one biggest secret that stayed for the past 4 months amongst 6 people. And when it was designed, we had to think really hard. What was it that we were doing? Everybody else was following the phenomenon. The phenomenon is now the transition into the political movement. That transition has to be smooth. And we had to think what kind of flag will be so close to the patriotic banner of liberty. And that's why that flag that will be coming soon, I understand I'm supposed to unveiling it, is somewhere here. Can I get somebody to come and stand next to me, and then we'll unveil this, and I'll explain what it means. You can already see that it's got blue in it. No one patented the blue. But I can tell you, we patented the flag. Is it? I'll have it on this side. That side. Okay, if you stand that side. Hold it really high. Now this is going to be tough for me with my left hand. Could you stretch it a little bit? Okay, let's do this. Can we move the tables back? Okay. Oh, I see. Yeah, I'll do this. I'll move the tables out and we'll come in the front. Is that okay? Yeah? Is that okay? Yeah. And then I'll try and have this one. Right, here we go. Right. That is the banner that will identify us from anyone else. The blue describes our marine resources. Although these days it belongs to Iceland, we'll reclaim it. The torch is the flame of determination of the principled Independent Patriots for change, that change, just like that flame, will continue to burn until we achieve it and continue to burn. Change is dynamic, it's constant. We will continue to evolve as new situations come by. We still believe in our unity. We still believe in peace. And that's why you've got the two white lines as well. But there is one thing we need to understand, that our unity, our peace, and the Namibia that we have now emerged out of the sacrifice where many of our people died, and the blood of our people still waters those freedoms. But that is what we have. It should not be prominent in us. What they did is to give us the opportunity to empower our people and to distribute our wealth equitably. Move back again and stretch. Now you'll find that the next color, the golden red, golden brown, is the Namib Desert, under which we've got our wealth. And that is the oldest desert in the world yet not honored. Although Mburumba Kerina, when he was told in Indonesia, anything important in your country, there is the Namib Desert. And then he said, oh, why don't you become the people of the Namib who practices Namibianism? And then emerges Namibia, that we will still honor our desert and will honor our wealth from that. Then the green represents our vegetation. Namibia is rich enough for us to be able to feed ourselves. Our 4 rivers has got enough water for us to be able to irrigate and really become free, sufficient, and independent for our own sustainable wealth in terms of feeding ourselves. And what you'll find is that this is the banner that we intend to set our people free. Whenever you are hosting it anywhere else, if it's up there, whenever you are taking it off, make sure it doesn't touch the ground. And make sure that you fold it with respect, honor, and dignity it represents. And we believe that by looking after it really well, we will look after our people just as much. Now, there was another symbol that will identify us from another. There are those that said that, why do you have 2 fists up? That is the symbol that enough is enough. it needs a double fist. We will have to break the chains of corruption. We've already started breaking one chain. We've got 5 of them in there that are described as lack of governance, lack of leadership. That's what we lack in this country. And corruption and inadequate usage and distribution of our wealth, our land, our mineral resources, and all distribution of health, education. If we can only educate our people appropriately and in the correct environments, we will be able to be prosperous. Those then are the symbols that will define the Independent Patriots for change once you constitute itself tomorrow and the day after. As the realities of times are, we are here at 250. We will have to look at the reasonability of administrative offices, as some news has just traveled through to suggest that there has been a change in the urge to protect our people, whatever the intentions then, and I will be approaching the relevant authorities to determine whether we could continue as 250 or whether we will be trimmed at 100. We are not quite, we can. Oh, it became operative on Monday. We are still marching. Patriots, what I intended to do is not to give you your marching orders today. Someone else may well be the one to give you your marching orders on Sunday. It's your decision, not mine. I didn't come here to be elected as a leader. I came here as a delegate, as a patriot. I may have been the face of the movement, the face of the phenomenon for change, but that's not a blue ticket of automaticity. Not here. There is no automaticities here. You will have to exercise your democratic right based on the convictions of merit, on the convictions of what you want to achieve with this organization, the vision and the principles in it. But if you fail to exercise your conscience, if you fail to exercise your ability to judge, you will fail to elect leaders that will lead the movement to a victory. That is in your hands. Just as much as we think that we are weak, we are the strongest force now, even before we are constituted. What happens when you truly are constituted in 2 days' time? That will be a battle to face. Now, I want to end here, but before I end, I really want to extend a strong hand of thank you to 4 special ladies. 3 of them are still not here, or 2 of them, is it? We've got Josephine. Josephine, are you here? Yes? I think the delegates and the patriots want to see you. You may come up here. Come on this side. Is Martha here, Auguste? She's outside. Is Florence here? Is Florence here? No. I'll do the roll call the next time again. I know when you did your roll call, they were not here. It's okay for you to stand up. Can you hear me there? You know that Itula speaks there. It's okay when you are up in the region there saying, I want so many people to come. What these 2 plus 2 others did is listen. Every time that we were asked, what is it that the people want in order for us to constitute ourselves? We needed signatures, 500 of them from each of the 7 constituent regions in the country. We managed to persuade everybody else from about March to get those signatures in. And these 2 ladies had to transcribe those signatures into a computer system USB. They are giving me this one again. Can you hear me now? Is it on? Okay. And they had to painstakingly type in accurately the numbers on the BR number and the region. All 14 regions of them. And 11 regions were above the required 500. And then when we went to submit the application, we submitted those signatures. There was no question whatsoever to say, you didn't satisfy this, you didn't satisfy this. They were well satisfied. One strike, one go. And then we also had to submit a draft constitution. But before I go to the draft constitution, I really want you today and tomorrow and on Sunday to give a warm hand clap for these courageous young ladies. And I can tell you that in the last 3 days, they did not sleep. 2 days ago, I went to pick them up at the office at 2 o'clock in the morning. The same happened. Yesterday, they phoned me up at 2 o'clock, suspicious circumstances, and I was there in 5 minutes. I normally drive 30 minutes from home. I wasn't speeding, it's a car that was going fast. And now, 2 of them are not even here. They sacrificed that ability to be here. And they are still there, now organizing the membership cards. Because we want to give everyone here a founding membership card. And I'm charging $1 for my signature. And we hope that before you leave on Sunday, you will have a number of membership cards that you can take to your regions and equitably distribute them so that you can start the recruitment drive. We need to understand, however, right at the onset, the success of a political movement is not so based on the number of people you have, it's finances. We had to work hard to get the finances to support our members to come here, to travel from where they are, work hard to look for a reasonable place for them to be accommodated, and I hope they are thankful for that. And for those that sacrifice even $1 to contribute to that, that is patriotism. That is solidarity. We need to be able to be people that can understand what is patriotism. Sometimes you have to sacrifice. These ladies sacrificed their wonderful time to be with their families at home. They were in that office all the time. But we can all do that. And if we all do that for Namibia, become selfless leaders, we will rescue this country. If you haven't realized it yet, we are in real trouble. Economically, we are. Financially, we are. And unless we come together and get on this ship that will travel from here on Sunday, we will be doomed. And only us to blame in the future. So, with these words, thank you very much. I would love to thank you once again for making the time to come. Did I just destroy your table? And to ensure that at least we will be able to interact. One generous Namibian has supplied us with enough meat, because a meal in Namibia with no braai vleis is no meals. And we've got somebody generously also who decided that they will be giving us their skills and prepare our meal for us. But what I want to caution everybody is to ensure that we are disciplined, principled, factual, objective in our interactions. That we respect the dignity of everyone. And you will hear me saying that over and over again. Because this must be a movement of people who have got credibility in how they say things and what they say and to whom they say it and how they conduct themselves. We must be exemplary. And that exemplariness is what our children would want us to be doing, and they will look at us with pride. May I take this opportunity to thank members of other political parties. When the new kid comes on the block, as they say, we hope that we will interact, but we will not call each other names, because we will have to work together for this Namibia. You can't work together with people you call names. We also don't want to call names to the legal person or the natural person. We are not here to fight their battles. We are here to fight the battle of the Namibian people. We are here to ensure that Namibia one day will emerge. This beautiful country has become the laughingstock in nations. And it's because of the leaders that we elected to lead us. But we will be different, and we'll have to be different. Because what trust is given to us will be sacred. And I can guarantee you, the whole Namibia is with us. And everyone else join the ship. We are one nation and one people. Thank you very much. Patriots! 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 Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Itula. Okay, if there's nothing more, is there some song or something coming up now? Just remember, tomorrow morning at 9 o'clock, we continue. See you tonight at the swimming pool. Swimming pool in Katatura. See you there tonight.
Ngenwa mendali presidente. Ngenwa